Jenna Rink is barely 13, confronted by bullies her same age, the Six Chicks, because there are six of them. She ends up devastated, hiding in a closet, blindfolded, feeling rejected by the popular crowd, suffering all of the existential angst that comes with being a teenager in America in that era. She wishes against wish, hopes against hope, and somehow her wish transports her to what she desires, to be 30 and flirty. It is the future. She suddenly transports into her future body, awakes to a world the way that she has made it in the intervening years she does not remember. She has to discover what led her from there to here, till ultimately going back in time to fix it all. This is Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, Krista Allen, Judy Greer, 2004, 13 going on 30. Jennifer Garner is a very solid actress who is altogether too nice. By which I mean she took some bad backlash from being Elektra in the Daredevil movie opposite Ben Affleck. It wasn't that she did a bad job, in my opinion. It's that she projects an optimistic, friendly sort of persona that doesn't fit with Elektra. Now, that movie didn't do well. The spin-off that focused on Elektra, she actually did a much better job capturing some of the gravitas, but it just didn't fit her. She does a lot better when she's got these films, romantic comedies, things about emotion and passion. And yes, 13 going on 30 is something I didn't actually see until a couple of years ago. It happened to pop up as one I knew I'd never recorded a review, and it was now included with a free service. So I thought, I'm going to watch it again because I really enjoyed that movie. Whenever you get these films about people swapping bodies, changing time periods like this, swapping roles, it's always interesting, the emotional dynamic, and that's why it's a recurring theme, and that's why it works. You have things like Wish Upon a Star with Danielle Harris and Katherine Heigl, where there's sisters, popular, nerdy, and switch bodies. Of course, the Freaky Friday thing, switching with your mother. You notice a lot of these, there's a theme here, and a lot of them focus on females, and they tend to be sort of girly movies and stories. I think of the existential terror that a boy of 13 would feel at the prospect of trading bodies with anybody, of someone else finding out your secrets of your life, of your feelings, when you're at that age where you're determined to learn to keep a stiff upper lip and to be manly. There's all sorts of things that you wouldn't. It's something that is much more interesting. It reminded me of the time travel meme that is still popular. Men travel through time and go someplace to meet an epic Viking warrior or whatever, and the ladies travel through time to meet their grandparents or their great-granddaughter. There's something to be said for that. In the sort of masculine versus feminine cosmic outlook, women tend to focus on feelings and relationships. Men tend to focus on things external and outside themselves in a whole different sort of category. So we always get these body-changing, life-exploring, emotional exploring films based around female protagonists, and they're the things that you get drugged to if you're a man by your significant other. Although I think I was just sort of curious because I just had watched Elektra and Daredevil, and this had popped up, probably why it was recommended to me, and I'd watched it a couple of years ago. 13 going on 30 is one of the really good ones, like Wish Upon a Star that I referenced earlier. It's enjoyable, and yeah, it's going to be sort of girly. The hard thing is getting through Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo is a discombobulated oaf. Mark Ruffalo is frumpy is the word. He is frumpy and socially, interpersonally awkward. I'm not trying to be mean. He's like that in everything. I thought he was the worst possible of all choices to be Bruce Banner. I mean, I grew up with Bill Bixby in that role, but if I'm picking a cinematic one, oddly, it would be Edward Norton, who's totally underestimated as an actor. By the way, Eric Bana was, but boy, the last one would be Mark Ruffalo, the guy The guy feels like somebody that should be a secondary character that just rolled out of bed drunk at a frat house or something. He just does not. You talk about gravitas, he does not have it. And it doesn't really play well. It's the part of the movie that really does feel lacking. In 13 going on 30, him as the love interest, it's completely believable that he's the awkward loser now grown up, but he continues to be, he projects the personality of an awkward loser, in my humble opinion, and it seems weird that Jennifer Garner as Jenna Rink is interested in him. The real good part of the movie isn't all of that. The interesting part of the movie, of course, is her self-exploration. And this happens really well in this film, discovering now, moved to her 30s, because you always have things, that you regret or you would change. Many of us do, or you wish it happened different. Whether you really want to change them or not, or have the wisdom to know not to tug at those strings of the tapestry. We always have things in our past. And her transitioning from this time of extreme social pressure and embarrassment directly to being 30, finding out then that in the intervening years she became the things she had not liked. She became, the popular girl she wanted to be, but she did it by the sacrificing of her soul in the interim, and finds that she does not like who she is at age 30, having sexual relations with people at work's husbands, having a relationship with a random guy that clearly she's not serious about, and the way that as it unfolds, her work life is actually duplicitous as well. By the end, finding out that she is the corporate spy that's been trying to destroy the magazine she works at for her own benefit, and the way that this builds up to realization that she wants to go back and fix it. Now it all culminates around the romantic relationship with her and Mark Ruffalo's character, with wanting to fix that. Now that he's getting married to someone, he's clearly gone the other way. He's gone down the road of allegedly making mature decisions regardless of passion, and he's about to do something that he's not properly passionate about. He cannot be dissuaded, but Jenna goes back in time, goes back to her time travel closet, wishes against wish, hopes against hope, and gets back in time in order to fix it. And it's a really cool ending that she comes out of that closet, kisses him, they're starting over again, but it fast forwards us back to 30 and them getting married. And yeah, it's a very emotional sort of moment. But the way the movie does this journey of self-discovery is what really makes it work. It doesn't go from zero to sappy. It does a lot of work in between that draws you into the narrative. You can't help it, whether you're male or female watching this relatively girly film, you can't help but think about where the tapestry of your life went, what you might have done slightly different, what you might have done in her circumstances. And you think about growing up in that, being that awkward age. And now, thanks to living in an era of social media, we kind of, for good or for ill, know more about what happened with those other kids at school. But realizing that maybe those popular kids did not end up happy. They hit a midlife crisis and realized they wasted the beginning of their life, or maybe not. Maybe they matured and developed and you turned out to be, in hindsight, the jerk. You never know. But that whole life growth, self-discovery, living the examined life that it really focuses on, there's all of these cool lessons that you can't help but feel something in the midst of this, and then it comes to this sort of satisfying conclusion. It also has a pretty cool soundtrack, if you remember songs from that era. But I really loved it. It's out there. You can stream it. I think it's on Tubi right now with commercials for free, or it might have been Peacock as well. But check it out. Let me know what you think. 13 going on 30.